Welcome, so here we are. Today we're going over an Oregon coast road trip itinerary. The southern Oregon coast to be specific. The goal of this is to help you plan your own road trip. I'm gonna go over a route you can take, places to stay, things to do. Of course, this is only a start guide. You can mix, match, plan your own road trip, but hopefully this gives you a good starting point, a good base, so you can take that long-awaited vacation, hit the road. Links to everything I go over are going to be in the bottom of this video, so let's get started. We're going from Florence, Oregon down to the tippy top of Northern California, Crescent City, and the Jedediah Smith Redwood Forest, but we will start in Florence, in the north, and of course, if you want to do it from the other direction, just watch this video backwards, or at least plan it backwards. Florence is located kind of halfway up the Oregon coast, right in the middle there. It is connected to a 40-mile stretch of coastal sand dunes called the Oregon Dunes National Recreation Center. And so the highlight of Florence is obviously those sand dunes. There's lots to do on those sand dunes. You can take horseback rides. There are plenty of places where you can get and book a dune buggy tour. There are lakes along the way, coastal forests. It just makes for a great outdoor playground. On our visit to Florence, we stayed in South Jetty RV Park. The cost was $55 a night. It was located pretty close to the beach and we could get right on those sand dunes right from our RV park. It's a massive RV park with all the amenities. There's even a pool, a playground for the kids, there's showers. So it has everything you want. The sites might be a little uneven though, so make sure you bring some blocks. No Oregon road trip is complete without checking out at least one of the cool lighthouses along this coastline. And about 15 minutes to your north is Haceta Head Lighthouse, high up on the Oregon coastline. You can drive right to this lighthouse and check it out if you want, but I highly encourage driving a little bit further to Washburn State Park and doing the hike. It is a loop hike all the way to Haceta Head Lighthouse and back. It's about a 4-mile hike. It's not too bad. There is uphill, there is some downhill, but the trail is well defined and you'll get to walk through some coastal forests. You'll get to walk along the beach. You'll get to walk along streams. So it makes for a great hike. There are Forest Service volunteers at this lighthouse that can give you a short mini tour, tell you the history of the lighthouse. You can't go up into the actual light fixture, but you can take a look inside the lighthouse and you can learn a lot of history about the lighthouses along the Oregon coast. And just a stone's throw further north from that is the natural feature called Thors Well, just right along the highway there. It looks like a drainage port for the ocean. It's just a cool natural phenomenon. You can walk down there, you can check it out. It can be dangerous, so don't get too close. But if you're coming from the north, you can start with Thors Well and then hit that hike and then head down to Florence and check out the sand dunes. We just got right to Florence and then we took that short trip up north to check that stuff out. So plan your trip accordingly. Next, we travel about 2 hours south around the area of Coos Bay. We're actually going to Sunset Bay State Park, which is kind of outside Coos Bay, right outside the town of Charleston. Sunset Bay State Park is incredible and there's a lot to do right there in that state park. Right across from our RV park where we stayed, which is a state RV park, so a little bit on the cheaper side, about $35 a night, is Sunset Bay Beach, or just Sunset Bay, where you could take the family out and you could swim in the ocean. And then also from this state park is a great hike that I highly recommend, going from Sunset Bay to Cape Arago. It's about a 5-mile hike round trip there and back. The hike takes you all along the Oregon coast. Halfway, you'll get to Shore Acres State Park, where Shore Acres Botanical Garden is located. It used to belong to a timber baron and his family, so you get to stop on your hike, you get to check out this beautiful garden, and then on your way to Cape Arago, you will hear and you will see the sea lions along the coast. And at Cape Arago, there's plenty more beach opportunities. There's a great place to have a picnic or a lunch before you start your hike back to Sunset Bay State Park. If you want to check out Coos Bay is right down the road. There's a boardwalk there. There's some old museums and some shopping and restaurants and things like that. In the town of Charleston, really close to Sunset Bay, is, I believe, the best clam chowder you can find on this road trip. It is in a place called Monkey Business Food. I know it's weird. And it's a very small little corner food store, Monkey Business Food in Charleston. After Charleston, we're gonna head down south for the third and final leg of our trip to the town of Crescent City, which, yes, isn't in the Oregon coast, but it is right at the tippy top of Northern California. And before you get there, there's more Oregon coast to discover. On the way there, you're gonna come across Arch Rock State Park. It's just a viewing area with, a little bit of a walking path there, but you can pull over, you can check it out, you can take some pictures, you can look around, check out the Oregon coast. It makes for a nice breakup of the drive. Next on the way to Crescent City is a hike that I would definitely recommend. Cape Ferrelo to Whalehead Beach, or Whalehead Beach to Cape Ferrelo, depending on which way you do it. If you are heading from the north, from Coos Bay, down to Crescent City, you're going to pass Whalehead Beach first. And we parked a car at Whalehead Beach because we had this luxury. We had an extra vehicle with my mom being with us. And then we drove down to Cape Ferrelo, where we parked our second vehicle. We hiked from Cape Ferrelo back up to Whalehead Beach and then drove back down. It is a 3.8 mile hike one way, so you can do it as an out and back if you don't have the luxury of two vehicles. And if you don't want to hike, I would just recommend stopping maybe at Whalehead Beach, checking it out. It's definitely worth the stop. Driving a little bit further and stopping at Cape Ferrelo and checking that out as well. Maybe hike around the two areas and just call it a day before heading to Crescent City. We went to Crescent City because we wanted to check out some redwoods. You're up there, you're by the redwood forests of Northern California. They are truly a magical place, and anytime you get the chance to go see some ancient redwoods, I recommend it. We stayed in Rambling Redwoods RV Park right across the border, and Rambling Redwoods is great in the park. There's redwoods all around, the spots are spacious, it's reasonably priced, around the same $55 a night. There's showers, there's laundry, there's bocce ball, there's tons of stuff for the kids to do. So the park itself is nice. We weren't really particularly fond of the location. It seems to be a little out of the way from Crescent City, from the actual redwood forest, and you will have to drive to these different places to check out the area. Without the RV, we did stay in Fern Hook vacation cabins last year, and those were awesome. So if you're just there with your car, I would recommend Fern Hook vacation cabins, actually in the heart of the redwoods in these cute little cabins. This redwood forest of Northern California is Jedediah Smith Redwood Forest. There are two areas that I recommend exploring. One is the Boy Scout Trail. It is a 2.8 mile hike to a waterfall and a 2.8 mile hike back, but it's pretty level and it takes you through some massive trees. If you're not looking to go that far and maybe you have kids and you just kind of want to get a sense of the redwoods, the Walker Road day use area is a great spot to check out. There are a lot of different smaller loop trails back there, 0.6 miles, a mile and a half, 2 miles here, a mile there. So you can mix and match, you can walk around for a little bit. They of course have interpretive trails with, signs and history and explanations on the foliage. So the Boy Scout Trail and the Walker Road day use area in Jedediah Smith I recommend if you want to explore the Redwoods. I also did a vlog on each section of this trip. So if you want to go back and see more about these areas, see more about what our experience was like, go ahead and check those out. But I understand that not everyone wants to see us hiking to some pretty music or listening to me tell stories about my mother. So these RV itineraries are just the nitty gritty to help you get out there and help you plan your own adventure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.